What's going on, guys? Lindsay back here with Side Hustle 247. We have another video today, and in what I want to talk to you guys about in this video is making $2,000 per week being a medical courier. Now, I know what you guys are going to say, whatever, Lindsay, you're not making $2,000 a week. That is true. But before I get into it and explain exactly how to make $2,000 per week, make sure and hit that subscribe button. Make sure and hit that notification bell. If you guys find this video informative, make sure and hit the thumbs up. And please feel free to comment down below. Let's keep the comments clean. Obviously, at some point in time, people like to make some rude comments. I don't really need that in my life. Positive here. We got a positive channel. So, and then drop any questions you might have down below also. And if you feel like making a donation, feel free to hit it down below. So, that being said, let's just hop right into it. So, $2,000 a week. Now, was I making $2,000 a week working for Courier Express? No, I was not. Was there multiple people making 2,000 per week for Courier Express? Absolutely. So, let's just get into it a little bit. I had some very good weeks with Courier Express where I made up to $1,500 a week. So that's not too bad. Did I have to work hard for that? Absolutely. I worked hard for that. I worked many hours for that. It wasn't anything overly crazy. Sometimes the stars just align. When in the courier business, there's times when you're going to be down a little bit. And then there's times when you're going to be up and make a lot of money. So if you just stick it out, you're going to kind of even out over time. So how was the person that I knew making $2,000 a week? Well, they had been in the industry a long time. I'm not going to lie. So they've been in the industry a long time. Um, they started off making, $100 a day, then $150 a day, then 200, 300, 400. To where they got up to where they were making $2,000 a week. Now, how much was he working? He was probably working 40 hours a week, maybe 50 hours a week. It was pretty flexible. He was basically running all of us. He was kind of like our supervisor. He still had to do some courier running because anytime somebody was out or wasn't there, he definitely had to be involved. And he was kind of our lead as far as the hospital. So if there was any questions or anything needed to be added, he did the training for everyone. He was running the show. So he was making $2,000 a week, and I can assure you he wasn't doing as much running around as the rest of us. So he do you have to be in a supervisor role to get $2,000 a week? Absolutely not. There was another guy who worked there that he had two routes. I think between the two routes, one of them started early, and then one of them ended at like 3 o'clock, and then he had another one from 3 to 6, I think, and he was doing about 350 a day, roughly, maybe 400 a day. And then any chance he drove a truck around. So any chance he got, see, what happened was there was always packages and things like that that would be put out on the dock. So any of the on-demand drivers would get some extra money, packages and things like that. Well, he kind of knew the lay of the land, and any chance he got, especially like after hours, after normal kind of hours, which is, after 5 o'clock, he had different ways where he would pick up extra boxes. He would make extra money, getting him up to closer to that $2,000 a week mark. Now, so there's also the Courier Express in particular is a big company. So they don't just do medical couriering, or I was in a certain location where we had a contract with the hospitals up in North Georgia. So there was a bunch of us that basically was right involved in there. So most of the people had route their own routes. They did different things like going back and forth from the different hospitals, just taking specimens and labs backwards and forwards. Some people did like a lot of mail routes and then specimen routes throughout the buildings, all sorts of different things. Some people had routes from one town back and forth to the other, so they would just make that route back and forth for about, 2 or 3 times a day, maybe 4 or 5 times a day, maybe 6 or 7 times a day. So it all depended on the situation. So most of the route drivers were probably making somewhere between, I'd say, 200 and 250 a day, roughly. Some got up to 300, 325 a day. So not bad, and they weren't bad deals. If I had lived closer to that area, I would have loved to have stuck with it because it would have been worth it. Because they were doing pretty good. Now, as far as with the gas prices going up and all the craziness, I don't know how things have adjusted in that particular company. They, like I said, they also are kind of in the southeast, so they do everything from, you can do box trucks, you can do vans. Courier Express is a big company, and they have lots of things. So my suggestion is always the same thing: if you want to make money in this business, make friends. Make friends with the dispatch people. Um, Stick around, put in the effort, put in the work, and you'll earn more business. That's the God's the honest truth. Networking is big in this business. So definitely. So Courier Express is who, um, I think they're a solid company. They got their drawbacks. They all have their drawbacks. I'm not going to say they not, and they definitely like will tell you some stories and not come through and things like that. But if you have the right people you're in with and you're networking with, you can make money. And Courier Express is not a bad company. So I thought I had a good setup there. I would have loved to have stayed around. It was just too far. I didn't live right in that location, so it didn't make sense to me. So, that being said, I think I eventually would have gotten a pretty good route, and it might have been worth it to stay. But again, it was too far for me. So, Courier Express, I think they're a solid company. What did they require from me? Driver's license, commercial insurance. I think they ran a 3-year MVR on me. Did a background check because I was working at the hospital, so they had to. And, there was nothing overly crazy. My driving record wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad either. So, and I don't have anything on a background check. I didn't do anything wrong, no felonies or anything like that. So, that being said, location wise, where's Courier Express? Because I'm sure some of you guys are going to ask me that. So Atlanta is where they're the biggest. Georgia, coastal Carolina, Central Florida, North Georgia distribution. So that's kind of where I was. Gulf South region, Mid South region, South Carolina, Tennessee Valley, Western Carolina. So they're a big company. They do freight, they do box truck, all sorts of stuff. Let's see what they got opportunity wise. Independent contractors. Let's see how to get started. Submit your information, meet contractual requirements, download delivery app, start earning, delivering immediately. So, no matter what, whenever you decide that you're going to join a company like this, be ready to work. You know, they that's the one thing I could say all these companies are just, they're full of it when it comes to. They tell you you can be a part timer, but the reality is the reality. You can't really be a part timer. Now, I can say that there's routes that are kind of more part time ish routes to where you might make an extra $125 a day for working 3 hours. So yeah, that might be worth it if it's close to you and you can pop in. You got a couple more jobs and it's just something simple, or you can do some weekend work. Now that's the one thing. They had weekend gigs where it was $400 a day where I was at. So the problem was you couldn't just get it for weekend work. You had to work there permanently. That was the perk for working in that area. So, there were some days where if you could work 2 days in a row on a weekend, they kind of had it on a rotation, but you could make $800. And it was easy work. I loved it, driving around the mountains. So, real quick, here's the requirements. I did find it. 18 years old. You can have your car. Just make sure it's in good shape. 3-year motor vehicle record, which I thought. Clean background, drug screen, insurance coverage. Now that's going to be the most expensive part of it. So I hope you guys found this informative. Please make sure and hit that thumbs up, man. I'm trying to grow my channel. I love helping. I love doing this kind of stuff for you guys. And make sure and drop any comments down below. Hit that notification bell. If you found this to be a good video, man, hit that thumbs up. So you guys have an awesome, awesome day. Peace.